axillary crease. And so I'm just going to poke around. Where do I feel? It's right there. If I go much higher, I'm going to get right into the muscle, and that would hurt. So I'm going to go right underneath, right there. You can't feel it. You can't feel what I'm feeling. But if you poke around too superiorly, you're going to get into the muscle. That will hurt. If you go up just underneath the muscle, there's a nice tender depression there. Okay. Here comes 11. Excuse me. In order to find 11, first I have to locate the scapular spine. Remember, we're going to be looking for the inferior border of it. So I can kind of like put my fingers here. So I'm feeling his whole, and you can see his whole scapula. I'm running my fingers down to get to the inferior angle. Now, if it was indistinct, what I would do is have him just move like this, and then I would say, aha, I feel it pretty clear, because, I mean, it's moving. It's a pointy thing that's moving. So, here I've got his inferior angle. Here I've got the inferior border of the scapular spine. I keep my fingers on like this. I'm going to start looking for the lateral and the medial edges. This one is always pretty easy to find. This one can be difficult. We tend to want it to be all the way over here, but really it's kind of a narrow bone. And sometimes you're going to have to go back and do this again to find where that border is. So I kind of just use all my fingers, and I outline the whole thing. Now, Dedman tells us that small intestine 11 is going to be located in the center from medial to lateral, and 1/3 of the way down from the inferior border of the scapular spine to the angle. So I'm going to put it right around here.
You killed the bird.
I killed the bird. When I go like this, I definitely feel that I'm on the right spot.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, probably if I put him in a different position, it would be a depression there or a pressure point. But what I feel for sure is there's gross grain ribbons underneath there, kind of thick gross grain. So on him, I can see it's right at 1/3 of the way down the bird. Now forget that for you who work on something next. But there's my 11. Zingy. Now some people, I think somewhere in Dedman, he says something like this creates an equilateral triangle. Yeah. That's cool. Because on a lot of bodies it doesn't work that way. And it's not equilateral anyway. And these points are where they're supposed to be. So 12, as we know, it's going to be directly superior to 11. It's in the suprascapular fossa to be easy about it. And when I have Mr. Valori's abduct, see how nice that is? Just perfect little depression. So a little bit higher. Yeah, okay, now down. Down all the way, adduct. Pretty much right above. Actually, is that right more there? Or here? You, yes, you.
It feels good.
Both of them. Okay. Okay, so we got our 9, we got our 10, we got your 11, you got your 12, 13. Here we go. Looking for the Blair Witch Project head. Scary. Ooh, 13. Scapular spine, coming medial, medial, medial. Coming medial like this. Coming, falling off the edge, going back in a lateral direction. Over this nubby thing. See how the spine is here? We can really see it. We can see this medial thing jutting up, kind of a stylus almost. And then there's a little depression right there, in which I'm going to put my orange scary 13. Okay, 13 is pretty much level with who? T2. Or as Dedman says, 13 is going to be on a line between small intestine 10 and the lower border of T2, which you see isn't really clear. I mean, it's not really true. But it's kind of like on a line. I'd say just remember that in most cases it's level with the lower border of T2. So lower border T2, we go up to lower border T1. We're going to go across to the 3 stone line. We know that the 3 stone line is level with the medial border of the scapula, pretty much at the level of T3. So we can put our small intestine 14 right there, and that's a really tight thing right there too.
Dr. Oddi?
Yeah.
When he raises his arm, I think small intestine 10 will actually raise to that line. He raises
Let's check it out. But only to a certain point.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if he has his arm completely parallel, let's check. Yeah, let's look at that as other people. Okay, good. Okay, here's your 13. Here's your 14 greater lateral from T1, and then small intestine 15 is going to be level with T7 too soon, and this is where we find the golf balls often. Voila. Pretty clear? Okay, now let's do our C7 and C6 thingy here. I'm going to ask you to go this way a little bit. Put your head straight up. Okay. So I'm running my finger down his dorsal vertebrae. Here's the first big bump I come to. Now, make like a duck. See how my finger falls off the ball valve? And now do it again, please. Okay, so we know that's C6. So come down to the next one. And my finger stays on it more. I mean, it's moving because the skin is moving, but the whole bone ain't pushing off. So that's another way of finding C7, and then we check, and then we find our lower border T2, and here is our small intestine 15. Okay, let's find them.